Hello and welcome back guys. Today we are starting a new story titled, The Guardian, written by Marth747. Please find author story link in the description. And now let's begin. A true beginning. Inko, oh dear, please Shota, have you found him? As they now shine the light on him, he was rubbing his eyes. Aizawa, I found him, but he also threw dirt into my face. Yagi, this isn't like him. He would never do that. Especially to a hero. Please Shota, I beg you to keep looking. Aizawa now was irritated. I'll see what I can do. I doubt he would get very fair. If anything, he wouldn't have kept running. But that boy has strength. Yagi, strength. But he's quirkless. Shota, I never really seen him train. Aizawa, well, he's got a lot of strength in him, so I'll give him that, but I'm keeping an eye out for you. Inko, okay, thank you. As she cries, worried where her baby boy is at. As they make it home, they see Izumi and her friends jump up from the couch and run right up to them. Izumi, did they find him? Shoka, is he okay? Katsumi, where's the Izuku? Bakugo was growling as he was annoyed by this. Shoto, I hope he's okay. Inko, Yagi, he's been found. But he ran away again. Looking at the black eye Izumi hottest during their dinner, they called Izuku down. And apparently Izumi said something, and out of nowhere Izuku just straight up punches her and he runs out, which was shocking to them. They never realized how hard he hit her. Seeing the swelling in her eye was red. Inko, Izumi, what did I say about keeping the ice pack on your bruise? Izumi, but it's cold. Shoka, hey. Izumi, I'm worried for my brother. Inko, now. It's going to be alright. There are multiple pro heroes out trying to find him. Should be in good hands and I have faith in them. Of course this wasn't the case. As the search went dark and Izuku suddenly disappeared. Where did he go? Well, he ends up somewhere unexpected that it may seem something out of a book or perhaps maybe a fantasy. Izuku, now waking up from whatever happened last night, barely opens his eyes and looks around. Oh, see, he was in a room, which is obvious. But there was a sliding door that was wide open, letting the cold air in, but he felt warm. As he looks around, he sees that he was covered in a blanket. Multiple of them, and he tried to sit up, but he then sees his chest was bandaged and he had an arm cast on. Izuku, where am I? But to add more to his confusion, realized that he wasn't laying on a bed but rather with someone. Izuku, he looks over to see a girl that was older than him. She had medium long black hair that ran down to her shoulders. Her left eye was bandaged and she was wearing ceremonial garbs that had rope bindings with metal braces on. The man beside her was a very threatened looking axe. He thinks it's a massacre which could probably kill him with one swing. Didn't want to do anything else, so he lays back down. I know you're awake. And he shivered from hearing her voice. Despite her beauty, her voice sounded almost like a ghost hissing through the air as it made him shiver. But she clears her throat. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. And he looks at her to see her blue eye as she smiles at him sweetly as she looks at his bandages. Are you feeling okay? And he nods. Izuku, who are you? Are you a pro hero? And she just chuckles. Not real, I just live here. Izuku, did you save me? And she shakes her head. Is the boy awake? Momiji, as the girl now known as Momiji, she looks up at the very large man. Izuku could only just stare, for this guy seems to be very strong looking. Heck, he could possibly be stronger than All Might. Izuku, Momiji, he's awake. Mstr Okame's, he is awake. Now the man known as Okumer, he walks up to Izuku and kneels down to his level. Okumer, are you feeling well? Showing nothing but concern to him, looks at him in his garb, hiding all the muscle he obviously has, but seems rather big. Not to be mean, but he's sure he can break him in half with just the flick of his finger. Izuku, yais, as he shivers thinking what they're going to do to him. Okumer, I see you're rather cautious of USA. Very good reason, and rightfully so. If I didn't find you sooner, you could have died in that alley from that man that tried to hurt you, but I see you already did the job for me. Izuku, for you. Okumer, your strength boy. What is your quirk? As he asks him now, was afraid to tell him, but he's not deceitful, not like his sibling Izuku, 2M quirkless, and he waits for the sudden change of behavior to get kicked out of the room and for Momiji to throw him off her like he's a disease, but instead felt her wrap him tighter, but not enough that it would hurt him. Momiji, oh, it must have been so hard, as she was caring for him. This feeling was foreign to him. Izuku, what is she doing? Okumer, I see it's much worse than I thought. Tell me, who are your parents? Izuku, MMY parents, and he nods. Momiji then displayed an aura that Izuku could only describe. Death wonders what their quirks were. Izuku, their names are Inko Yaji and Okumer, Toshinori Yagi. Momiji, wait. Then that means he's Okumer, you're Izuku Midoriya, and Momiji just gasped from this news. Izuku, you know who I am. Okumur, I once teached your father, Izuku, my dad. You knew my dad. Okumur, not Nui practically taught him everything he needed to know his control over his own quirk. His way of fighting though a bit on the thin side, and Momiki laughs from the joke. Momiji, we're in a temple in the mountains. We just never thought you would come here given your parents' well history. Izuku, what's wrong with my parents? Okumur, now I want to get to the real question. Izuku, did you run away? And now he shivered. Izuku, it's nothing bad. They didn't mean it. I'm sure they didn't. I should head back. I'm going to be in big trouble, especially if the pro heroes are trying to find me. Momiji, Izuku, Budadentrially when to go home because Wathirially are ice villains in disguise and Dimaphrodite bewers and siege it back into Dantuanto. Okumur, Izuku, using his stern voice, cut him off quickly. The authority that presented can make anyone listen to him. Okumur, I'm sorry but I need you to tell me the truth please. If it involves your well-being then do not hide a Turi here and we can protect you. Momiji, you can tell us you're not in trouble. As she said those words she didn't realize he was crying. Izuku, really? Momiji, really we only care about you and what happened that made you run away. Please you can trust us. Izuku, if I tell. No I want ti. Don't I don't want my family to get in trouble. Okumur, son listen to me, your health is way more important to us. No please tell us. Even though he has to admire the fact he still defends his family's reasons for why he's like this. Such a thing can be taken advantage over so easily. Izuku, sniff it. It started when I first went to get my quirk test. And he then explained on what happened afterwards, how even though Izumi was barely old enough to do anything his parents had started to ignore him and paid more attention to his sister. His friends that were his age started to distance themselves away from him, saying he's like a plague or he can take their quirk if he touches you, which of course was heartbreaking to him. Okumur then puts his hand on his head to ruffle his hair. Of course Izuku flinched from this gesture and that's all that he needs to know about his situation. Okumur, it's settled, you don't have to tell anymore. Would you like to look around? And he looks back at Momiji wondering if he needs her approval and she just smiles. Izuku, why yes. And right away he was helped up and he was given some garbs to put on. Now exiting the room he was in, he looks around to find himself in a very nice Templar. Maybe it was one. But he knows he's in the mountains based off the fact that it's could and the city can be seen in the distance. He looks on over to see a broken wooden rail. And out of curiosity he peeks over it and sees it's a very long drop down. Now backing up he feels Momiji grab his hand and ease him. Okumur, no it may seem very far from your home. Izuku, but I was out on a patrol and I found you. Of course you're still being looked for, but before I did anything I wanted to know what the reason was for you to run away, and with how you explain things and how you act around us it's pretty clear you will not be going home. Momiji, is he staying here? Okumur, obviously. I'm not sending Firedrake's son out into the woods. Izuku, you're a pro hero. Okumur chuckles, well yesterday was my last day, now I'm retired. Izuku, I never heard of you. Okumur, you may have heard of me, I am the underground hero Shigoki. Now he recalls the guardian of Tokyo. Who would protect those who can't protect themselves? Patrol in the shadows, they say his strength is unmatched and could even rival All Might himself, wielding a mighty kanobo that weighs like a stick to him. Izuku, you're the Shigoki. Oh my glob, it's really you. I remember Nayowoodba broadcasted all over the news 40-hour valiant braver yon taking gone toxic chainsaw All Might calmed. As he started to nerd out from this news, Momiji waves her hand in front of him, but he was still muttering all the things that he knows about him. And quite honestly that scared him for a bit. Okumur, ahem, right, I am retired and I would rather keep it that way. I'm too old for the patrols. No, perhaps would you like to test something for me? Izuku, yes, excited. Momiji, are you suggesting? Okumur, if his father went through it, I'm sure he can as well. Izuku, come here. As they go through the shrine they were lead into another small room, which of course. Izuku, gasp. The Kanaboa wow, as he was observing it, respecting the item and looked upon it like it was divine. Shigoki, now pick it up. Izuku, huh? Shigoki, you heard me correctly. I want you to try and pick it up. Izuku, oh okay. And he bows in front of Ivan though it wasn't necessary and slowly wraps his hands around the handle. The weapon was way too big for him, 3 times his size to be precise. Of course it was made for Shigoki to use, and he grunts as he tries to lift it up. Momiji cringed seeing him turn red from the strain. Okumur, control your emotions, think back to when you were behind that dumpster. Izuku then remembered that time When he punched Izumith hero not noticing his injuries, that man that tried to harm him doesn't want to be mad, but it was too late now. Growling, he lifts up the Kanobo and holds it up in the air. Izuku, hyah. As Momiji stares in awe at this boy, though very small and skinny. Pick up her master's weapon before he then calmed down, and he almost toppled over. Of course Okumura grabbed so he doesn't hurt himself, now thinking more about Ida as he rubs his chins thinking, and Izuku was nervous from the silence. Okumura, yes, this is much problematic. Izuku, what? As he was scared. Momiji also was concerned seeing how easily he became enraged. Maybe this Okumura. You have a quirk. Izuku Midoriya, and it was his turn to be surprised. Izuku, too have a quirk, booty. There's no way. The doctor said I couldn't have 1 inch. Okumura, yes, but even medical professionals can make mistakes. Tell me, has he told you about your extra joint in your toe? Izuku, huh? Why yeah, Okumura, that's just some of the very flaw method that hasn't even been confirmed as an effective method to see if one has a quirk or not. No, I've seen it. Izuku, soy, I have a quirk. I have a quirk. As he screams out in joy, he can be a hero. He can be a hero. Okumura just chuckles at his excitement, but they also see that when Izuku bumps into the wall it sort of created a big noise. Izuku, sorry, Momiji, it's okay, you discovered you have a quirk. Okumura called, would you like to say it? And he nods. Okumura then comes up to him and kneels down to his leave. Okumura, how would you like to live here? Izuku, I will make sure you will live a peaceful life. I can take care of you since I'm no longer a hero and maybe teach you how to control your quirk. Izuku, but me. Parensi Kanti, I was just matey, I didn't mean to leave them. Okumura, tell me this, when was the last time you celebrated your birthday? Izuku, WWL Zumi would often be celebrated. I just didn't want them to waste their time on me. Momiji then was clenching her Masakari as she sees this boy is very selfless. The injuries that was on him was just scratching the surface when he was asleep. She saw the calloused skin that covered him. The recent scars that are barely healing. Some even were infected still, and with Okumura's treatment it would have made his condition even worse. Okumura, Izuku, know that I'm telling the truth. Izuku, no, I don't want to believe it. Okumura, Izuku, please, a kid like you. A smart kid doesn't deserve to live in conditions like that. It's not because of you, it was because of them. It's never your fault. Hearing those words again, saying that he wasn't the reason his family neglected him, but he just simply don't care and that he deserves to live a good life. Maybe he's right, beautiful, and he knew it was the truth. It still hurts him a lot. Izuku, okay, sniffing as he looks at Momiji, and she goes up to comfort him. Okumura, you're going to be okay. Izuku, it's going to be alright. And thus his path that had driven him away from the void into the light has begun. The beast awakens after having the conversation. Momiji then brought Izuku to where he's staying. Izuku, you Momiji, Izuku, thank you for watching me. As he thanks her she just hugs him. Momiji, it's okay. So Mr. Okumura can be pretty strict when it comes to teaching one how to control your quirk, but I think he has a soft spot for you. Izuku, really? Two don't want to be treated different if it could affect my training. Momiji, how is a cute, adorable kid like you so selfless? Do you need anything? Water? Food? Oh, you need to bath? Izuku, Momiji, it's alright, he'll get it ready for you. Okumura, Momiji, control yourself, and she nods before she heads out to get things prepared. Izuku, boohies she. Okumura, she's just excited someone else is going to be here. Momiji usually trains a lot and doesn't really interact with others. Izuku, there's others here. Okumura, there used to be a lot of my students trained here. If they need Ito seats, just her and I. People avoid her mainly because of her voice and quirk. Izuku, oh, I forgot. What's your quirks? Excited as out of habit he was about to reach for a non-existent journal, but he realized it. Okumura, my quirk, tell me, do you think it is? Now asking him. Izuku, WWL, I know you have a lot of strength and that you can crush a man's skull with just your hands alone. Okumura, well, you're right about it. It's called the mountain and it takes a lot to do it. No, my quirk, come here. And he then sees him wave his hands for a bit and water started to come out through it. Okumura, I really don't have a name for it, but I can form water out of the air and I could even use it to boost my attacks, but it's very smaller. I can traverse water quickly. If it's raining I can also use it to shield myself. And Izuku was just in awe seeing the water flow off his hands easily. Okumura then just flicks his wrist and the water shot out in that direction. Okumura, perhaps even stun them if I wish, but the downside is I can get very dehydrated, which is why I rarely use it. Izuku, what about you? Momiji, Oh well, looking at Okumura, and he nods, giving her reassurance that it's okay Momiji. Sigh, okay, but please don't be scared, okay, and he nods, now curious of what it is, then takes her eye patch off, showing a black eye that doesn't reflect light, and then she let out an aura that felt like fear, nightmarish, even couldn't help but shake. Momiji, my quirk is called Deliverance. It allows me to instill an aura that can cause a flight or fight response, although it can raise anxiety greatly and make anyone weary around me. Drawback is my eye here will start to bleed if I overuse it, which can lead to fatal blood loss. All the while her voice changed back to that ghost-like tone that he shivered from, but she covers it back up and the aura subsided, and he takes note on all of their quirks now that everything has been established. Okumura then guides Izuku over into the front of the temple, which there was a large area for them to train as they started up with simple movements and stretching this. Okumura sits and observes. Momiji would show him on what he needs to do. Okumura, and remember, if you were to try and train on your own, you may ask for either me or Momiji to observe for making mistakes, as habits can develop, so we would want to stray from it. And he nods, now moving on to basic combat training, for this would continue on for days on end. Izuku could have stopped any time he wants. The training is based on how long he could last, but with his will he exceeds a limit beyond anything they've ever seen. Well, similar to Fire Drake, Shovever and the other Cita, his family's search for him was still going on until it stopped, saying that he simply disappeared. Well, only a few people know of his whereabouts, and some even think he's better off at the temple training with the hardened Shugoku, but they pray that he is doing alright. But he does catch the eye of a certain someone. Until then he undergoes a major training montage. First month, Izuku, as he swings the wooden kanobo around. Izuku still has some problems with his temper now, which was odd, and never really thought he would have this. Okumura strike, and he swings the kanobo and hits the dummy, and then again as he keeps going. He then now spared against Okuma. Of course, with each swing he deflects it with just one arm, and it's awesome, but he needs to land a hit on him. But he did say that he probably won't land one until he finally gets to a higher skill level, which in 1 month still isn't much. Momiji, alright, Izuku need to try and strike me. As he holds the Masakari, well, it had one side unlike hers, but if he gets stronger then he has a much higher chance of getting one himself, for he will be honored. Won by both of Thema Kanobo and Masakari. Izuku, right, as he holds it close, he then channels some of his anger through to give him mobility. Izuku, as he swings it overhead, she dodges it and he goes for another one, and it dodges for each one she kept dodging. But Izuku grew tired quickly, for he still has a lot to learn. Then came one of the more fun things. He gets excited for the run, which of course has him start from the bottom of the mountain, and he would have to run all the way up back to the temple. Why he likes this? It's because of the scenery and the forest he runs through, feeling like he's free from all the things that have happened to him. The breeze and the way the trees move from the wind, like one of those heroes from a comic he read. Once he made it to the top, Okumura was there, and even if he tried to hold his stern look, Momiji just shook her head as she just smiles. As Izuku was trailing mudtwigs and had some bugs on him. Izuku, thinking if he did something wrong, but Okumura couldn't do it anymore, just chuckles. Okumura, come on, let's get you cleaned up, and he nods. Time skip another 2 months. Izuku with Okumura now walked around in the small town he lives near. Of course the occasional pro hero would wander around there to see if anyone needs help. Of course onlookers know each other very well, and Okumura carries Izuku on his shoulders and he holds his arms up. Izuku, look, I'm a tree. Okumura, careful, make sure you don't fall off. As they head towards Astoria, a small farmer's market, picking up some things for them to eat later. Okumura sets Izuku down. Lately he's been able to utilize his strength more often and perhaps be stronger than most kids his age. Looking around at the other vendor, she sees Izuku, looking at the merchandise site was hero merchant. They had all different kinds of things he's never seen, and he finds something. Izuku, and as he was about to reach it, his hand comes into contact with, oh, you're looking at it too. And he turns to look at a girl. She was his age and she had long light blue hair. Her expression was that of curious, and she now smiles as Izuku was a bit dumbfounded on what to do. Izuku, oh, hair, you from around here? What is your name? What's your quirk? Favorite food? You like this hero as well? And she was barraging him with questions. Izuku, Nijire. Please don't run off. Seeing an older woman that had blue hair, but it was darker than the girl named Nijire. Oh mommy, he likes the same things as me. Seeing Izuku now growing more anxious from this. Izuku, yes, even if he has all the training in the world knowing how to talk to someone, especially a girlies. Momiji is one, but she's older and the way she treats him is more like a sister he never had, and even then he's still trying to get used to the affection he can receive. Nijire. Hair, you okay? Izuku, Omi. My name is Izuku, come on honey you're making him nervous, Nijire, but I want to talk to him, Izuku, too, Okumur, Izuku come on, seeing him holding a huge bag of rice and other bags and he runs to him Nijire, Izuku I'll remember that seeing him run off with a huge guy Okumur, I see you're talking with other kids that's good what's her name? Izuku, It's Nijire, Okumur. Nedrinus name hair hold on to this it'll help your arms, handing him a bag and he reels it over his shoulder and they walk back to the temple Okumur, so she seemed nice have you tried talking to her? Izuku, well she asked a lot of questions and her mom came and got her, Okumur, my am sure you'll cross paths again am sure it's much sooner than we think, Izuku, well. Two did like her hair, Okumur chuckles, already going through phase. Izuku now blushes, what? Noi didn't Okumur, haha I am just saying then take it to heart it's alright, walking in silence before they make it to the trail that leads to the temple Okumur, I think. It's time to have you start the trail again but with weights, Izuku, boo that I can be able to dash, before he could finish his sentence he was grabbed Okumur, Izuku but then he was surrounded by thugs, place your wallet money anything that you may have that's valuable hand thee over, Okumur remained calm as Izuku was struggling looking at him in distress Izuku, MMPH. Shut up kid, and he slams his fist into his gut causing him to cry out Okumur, Enoden daunt him, get him boys if he fights back the boy dies, as he holds a knife over Izuku's neck Okumur knew he had to let it beam then the first thug comes in and hits him with a bat knocking him over as they started to pummel him. He held his arms over his head protecting it's not fast enough to stop the one holding Izuku and he's too far to signal Momiji to Kami has to protect this boy has potential even if he's gone Momiji can still train him just looks over at Izuku who was trying to get out of his grip and he smiles Izuku, no, looking at his master seeing him being beaten senselessly. He then had a flashback to when Izumi and the others would berate him torment him torture him and then those words replaying in his head, you're just a Deku, quirkless freak, why don't you do us a favor and off yourself, maybe you're the reason your dad left you that's all he could hear and he didn't just see Okumur being beaten saw himself, shut up, as he held the knife again Izuku started growling Izuku, I said. Let him go now hissing he bites down on the blade and then it shattered, what the, and he turns around and he jumps on the thief and punches him causing him to be knocked unconscious, they stopped their beating and Okumur looks up to see Izuku now having a look of pure hatred Izuku, as he screams loudly his eyes for a moment turned yellow and he runs at them, stop the little shhh. As Izuku jumps on him and he headbutts him as the other members tried to grab him Okumur took this chance to sweep one of their legs and he grabs them to throw them towards the other knocking them out as well Okumur, for down. Where's the last, Izuku, hua, as he sees one of them trying to get Izuku off him Okumur, Izuku that's enough, but then he pushes him off as Izuku kept attacking him, please help. As Izuku then goes over and bites of one of his fingers the thief screams no choice now Okumur grabs one of the bats and once Izuku tried to bite him Okumur places the bat over and bites down on the wood growling out as Okumur holds him tightly Okumur, it's okay. It's okay. Calm down, as Izuku was just red from how loud he screamed Okumur called out and managed to signal Momiji as the thief was clenching his Honda gets up and runs off could care less about that as he manages to break free from his grip Izuku turns around and hits his chest which had a lot more force packed behind it causing him to let go as Izuku growls still Okumur, Izuku please sights me, then Momiji, Izuku. And he turns around to look at Momiji as she slowly walks towards him Izuku. Momi. Momiji, come here, as he was breathing heavily trying to control his Angerto now start bawling again Izuku, Mstr Okumur, looking to see a huge bruise on his shoulder Okumur, it's alright, seeing the other thugs knocked out Momiji manages to calm him down Izuku, I am, Momiji, it's okay it'll be alright, and Okumur just scratches his head has a lot to work with then he thought a friend Izuku, unha. Once Aga and he wakes up in the same room he first slept in and again. Looking over to see Momiji by his side deja vu that's how he feels right now Izuku, Momiji, and she wakes up to see him awake Toretti's muscles felt awful like he tore something Okumur, are you okay kid as he looks over to see him sitting there as he looks over the view overlooking the town Izuku, what had happened, Okumur, what do you remember last? Izuku, You were getting attacked Thini don't know what happened after, Okumur, I see, flashback Momiji, are you sure you want to keep it a secret? Okumur, if we tell him now he'll think he's a Berdini don't want that, Momiji, I know but. He deserves to know at least, as she strokes Izuku's hair recovering from the attack that he became enraged in. Okumur, in time we will tell him for now. I gonna have to start figuring out on a solution to his short temper. Momiji, what could have costed it? Okumur, as much as I dislike it, I need to ask him, otherwise we'll end up playing a guessing game and to avoid any way that could trigger something from his past. Flashback ends. Izuku, am I in trouble? Okumur, no, you're not in trouble kid, but I do need to know one thing. Izuku, what's that? Okumur, I need you to tell me everything that has happened to you, from how you were treated, how you dealt with it, and what happened. Izuku, to do. Momiji rubs his back trying to comfort him. Okumur, it's rather important that you don't. We're going to be making a scheduled training routine. I'll get something made and you will learn. Is that clear? And Izuku nods. Izuku, are we able to go to town sometimes? Okumur, yes, as long as when something happens you run away, and Momiji will be with us as well. Momiji, I understand. Izuku, how come everyone goes now? Okumur, because we care for your well-being. Izuku, and if something happens while one of us aren't there, it's not something I want to think about, but you just have to trust me on this, alright? Izuku, last time someone said that to might it wasn't true. Okumur then comes over to him and kneels in front of him, grabbing something from his pocket, and he brings it out. A ring. Okumur, this ring belonged to your father, gave this to me in case if he ever comes back to give it back should he need the training again. I am sure he won't mind me giving it to you, and it's a proof that no matter what you can endure this and be strong just like your father. Izuku looks at the ring closely as he sees the small markings on it. It was still too big on him, but Okumur took it and put it on a chain and then puts it over him. Izuku, wow, as fiddles with it. Okumur, now get some rest, tomorrow we're going to train. Izuku, okay, time skip. 1 year later. Izuku, HIHYAH. After 1 whole year Izuku has been training hard and was venting out some anger. Okumur had told him the truth about what happened on the day they were attacked. He'd never realized how bad it was when he went into full detail. Momiji has been a great help in teaching him meditation, how to keep himself productive, and takes his focus off his problems as he keeps on going. Okumur Thuff's been strict with him since sometimes he does go into a fit of Angira or just a small tantrum when it involves things such as when he wanted to train Mirai refused it, and he did get irritated from this. Momiji would offer to keep watch. Her and him have gotten a lot closer since the first year, looks up to her like a sister. She has been keeping watch of what he does, and he does the same, especially when they went into town one time and she was looked at weirdly since she was known as the Hitokiri, or in other words manslayer, as she did have to protect the people from villains that are on the run, and the way she fights and instills fear into them, it also affects them as well, so they look at her nervously, and with Izuku being there puts them at ease. Izuku, so what do you want to eat tonight? Asking her. Momiji, I wonder if you mind having something called katsudon. Never tried making it, but I want to try, and she turns to see Izuku excited and has stars in his eyes. Izuku, I love katsudon. I am sure it'll be delicious. Momiji, well, then I'll try then. Ruffling his hair. Izuku, Momi, pouting. Momiji, sorry, giggling. Izuku, and he turns around to see Nijire. How are you? And Izuku was confused for a bit. Izuku, Wadodo, I know you. Nervous obviously. Nijire, you don't remember me? Back at the market, when you were about to grab that hero comic. Now thinking back, now remembers. Izuku, oh. Was it ten? Nijire, you do remember. So what's going on? Momiji, oh, so you talked to him before? Smiling at her. Nijire, oh, hi, is she your mom? Izuku, no she isn't. Momiji, he's my little brother. Ruffling his hair again as he just shakes her off. Nijire, oh, we wish I had a sibling. Hold on, and she leans closer to his face. Izuku, as he was nervous seeing someone so close to him. Normally it would be a balled up fist that head straight for him. Nope, just a smiling hyperactive girl. Nijire, as she then pokes his freckles. He was confused, but Momiji just giggles at the cute display. Nijire, huge fluffy green hair, me light blue hair, your little freckles have none, you're like a fern. Izuku, Nijire, you know those trees. You may look frail but you'll become big and strong. Izuku, oh thanks. Nijire, come on. Let's go to the forest. Izuku, Momiji, it's alright. Izuku, go play, knowing he needs eat as they both run to the small playground that's near the forest, going around as Nijire holds on to his hands as they run around. Izuku, where are we going? Nijire, I have no idea, as they keep on running through the area and then do a full circle and come back to the playground. Nijire has a lot of energy. Izuku, could we stop? Now she turns to him and let's go. Nijire, how come? Ohio want to be the brave knight coming to attack the dragon. Izuku, oh what's the dragon? Nijire, that big mean tree, as she points behind her. Izuku, oh. Okay then, as he picks up a stick but then tosses it because it snapped easily. Now he found one. Izuku, alright foul beast, your evil is over. As Nijire stands behind the tree she tries to make noise but Izuku couldn't help but laugh. Nijire, oh save me fair knight, as she pretends to swoon. Izuku now swings the stick and hits the tree, hearing the sound of the wood echoing in the forest. This went on for a while and soon Izuku then hits the tree branch off. Nijire, yay you slain it, cheering it out. Izuku, and now I will come to save the princess, as he now just hops on the rock as Hershey was happy. Nijire, oh thank you brave Naito, what should I reward you with? Izuku, I don't know. Nijire, oh well. Let us ride off. Izuku, okay, as he did something unexpected. Nijire, as Izuku now picks her up and holsters her on his back. Izuku, make way for the steed. As they run now Izuku didn't realize how light she is, probably the result of the training he's been going through. As they go through the forest Nijire felt the cool air hitting her. She now raises her arms high. Nijire, woohoo. As she yells out, having the time of her life, and Izuku laughs as well. Before he lost his footing Izuku, as both now fell over and rolled down a hill. They ended up going into a small riverbank and both were soaked splash. Izuku, shaking his head and hits the side of his head to get the water out of his ear. Izuku, nay, and he looks over to see her face down in the water panicking. Now he goes right up to her. Izuku, nay. I'm so sorry, but she comes out of the water. Nijire, that was so much fun, let's do it again. Izuku can go back up and the mud could be like a slide for us to go down. Up as she slides right into Izuku. They both fell into the water again. Nijire, that's really fun. Izuku, yeah. Oh no, as he looks at himself seeing his cloths drenched in water. Momiji, Izuku. Nijire. Hearing both of them calling out their names. Nijire, oh my mom's calling me. Izuku, come on, as he holds out his hand to help her up. She grabs it and they head up to go rejoin them. As they get back to them Momiji sees them. Oh Nijire, as she was just not amused by this. Momiji, well seems you got your water training in. Hee. Nijire, look mom, we're fish. Izuku, I thought I was the tree. Momiji, alright come on Izuku, you have to go back. Izuku, okay well he liked playing with you. Nay. Nijire, aha. Come on. Nijire, grabbing her hand and she pulls her away. Nijire, bye. Izuku, waving at her, but he looks closely and sees her smile fade away as her mother scolds her for getting soaked. Momiji, well come on Izuku, let's head back. I'm sure Okumer can get you dried up with his quirk. As they walk back to the path leading into the temple Momiji then noticed Izuku was quiet. Momiji, are you okay? Izuku, it's just Nijire was in trouble. Momiji, no her mother was just worried she might catch a cold. Izuku, but what about me? Momiji, well let's talk about it back home. Okay. Izuku, okay, but even then could hope they see each other again. Like doesn't know why but he feels like it's fate, maybe guardian in training. Izuku, As he swings the small wooden axe down Okumer simply deflects it. Izuku keeps his focus on the amount of power he puts into his swings. It's been draining for him. As he tried to go for a swing Okumer sidesteps beside him and then in one motion bumps him with his stomach, which caused him to topple over and hit the ground. Izuku, no fair, you used your belly. Okumer, a lot of things in life can be unfair. Izuku, in time you'll be able to topple me. Your strength has improved a lot since you first came. Hariso has your skills. Think it's time. Izuku, time for what? As he was nervous in what they're going to do next, and then Okumer just pulls out 2 items from one of the storage bins. Okumer, you're a grown boy, no, think it's time to take you fishing, holding up 2 wooden spears. Izuku, fishing? Don't we use like those big sticks with a string? Okumer, yes way could I'll explain along the way. Come, as he picks him up and stands him up. He was handed a spear and he follows him into the woods still wearing his weights, which was just a bag filled with rocks holstered on his back. Had to put in a lot of effort to keep up with Okumaho is very quick. Okumer, come on. As he now starts running Izuku now puts in the work as he sweats. She tries to keep it from going into his eyes, which has happened, and he hates that burning as the sun peers through The leaves and the area lights up can't help but again feel like a warrior from those books he read, being those adventurers that would go on great journeys to save the world with his spear and the bag. Of course he knew why he's doing t. She still has dreams of being a hero, but the more he thinks about it, Murray felt it slipping away, especially when he talked to Nijire back when they were playing in the stream. Flashback. Nijire: so what's your quirk? I bet it's super strength. Izuku: he was nervous. Nijire: come on, tell me. Izuku: don't. Nijire: come on, tell me. As she keeps up with the pestering, Izuku now had no choice. When he tells her what it is, then she might change her opinion on him. Izuku: please don't. I'm quirkless, he said quickly, and he squeezes his eyes shut and covered his head, preparing for something to happen. As he waits for it, Nijire then holds both his hands and he looks up at her. Nijire: I'm quirkless as well. Which of course surprised him. Well, he does have one, but after that incident hasn't been able to perform it anymore, like it was locked away in him to never use it again. Hint hint. Izuku: okay then, are we still friends? Nijire: of course, even if I didn't have one, I'll always be your friend. Flashback ends. Izuku: sigh. Okumur, we're here. As he looks up, he sees the very large lake in the mountain. Izuku: Okumur: Izuku: why are we fishing on top of a mountain? Is there no fish? Okumur: no. Izuku: but why is it fishing if we can't? Okumur: look again, and he looks at the lake closer. Izuku: Okumur: if this was the pre-quirk era, then it would be impossible. No, it's not. Looking at the fish that zoom by quickly as they also jump out of the lake and then squirm for a bit in the mud before going back into the lake. Izuku: WOHLOOKATLLTTFISH. He blurted out fast in awe of the amount that just jumped out. Now Okumur just laughs at his response and he pats his back. Okumur: yep, these fish have evolved to have quirks. Izuku: but isn't it very hard to find an animal with a quirk? I thought it was impossible. Okumur: it may seem like it, but when the quirk era has started, which is roughly how many years? Testing him. Izuku: he think it's at least 100 years. Okumur: 200 to be precise, just a general estimation. Now when that happened, during that time animals had begun to develop an instinct, and as sad as it sounds, they are finding places that would give them the least amount human contact, as they have quirks that would help them escape from those situations. This lake being way up high used to be salmon that would flow upstream until they used to be hunted. Now they have settled here since there is enough food to sustain them and the bears around here also get fish to eat, creating a balance on its own. Izuku: wow, in awe of this. Izuku: then why are we here? Should we leave them alone? Okumur: in the ways of maintaining your training, there may come a time when you need to use these skills in survival, or maybe pass them down to others who may benefit from it, but the main reason is to improve your precision, to be able to strike your target head on. No misses. Izuku: like when you bumped me with your big belly. Okumur: something like that. I'll demonstrate. As he takes his garments off, Izuku does the same. The lake is located very high, so it's very cold, and even the clouds seem so close he could touch it. As Okumur stands in the water where it's up to his stomach, he holds the lance high. Okumur: keep the stance like this way you can jab easily. Izuku: how will I know when it's time to jab them? Okumur: you must focus, keep yourself calm, steady your breaths. These animals are not just going to let you get them, they too want to survive and live like you. It's the way of life. Everything on this planet, they all may seem different and may think different, but we all share a common trait: survive and live. Remember this. As he focuses now, a fish jumps. Yupen soon. Okumur turns immediately and manages to stab a fish, seeing it squirm in the spear, and he comes back to Izuku, who has his mouth open to see how awesome it was. Izuku: wow. Okumur now gets his knife out and cuts the fish's head off. Izuku looks at his spear nervously. Has to concentrate. Okumur: there are two ways. The one I usually do is to have them hop out, then get them that way, or two, you can look into the water and strike that way, but until you're older you must hit them in the air. Izuku: why do I have to wait until I'm bigger? Okumur: well, you'll be underwater and can't get the fish that way. Remember, you're in their territory, they can swim faster than me and you, so you must have focus. Izuku: oh okay. Now looking at the lake, Okumur: you can do it. As he sits on the ground, started to gather rocks around him. Izuku now gets his small headband on to keep his hair from getting into his eyes as he makes the first step into the water. Izuku: cold. As he just barely dipped his toe in. He tries again and puts his full foot in. Once he got past the fuda, started to walk in until it was up to his chest. Meanwhile Okumur was frowning while looking at him. Not from how he was shocked about the water or how he's been slower missing his jabbets because Izuku's body was covered in calloused skin. Yes, he's tended to him before. Yes, he's trained without his shirt, and yes, he's lived with them for over a year, but it doesn't make it any better that it's just a constant reminder of what he went through. Especially when he told him about his family has lost all respect for All Might, and in time he may find out the one thing he's been ignoring and neglecting could be the very thing that could decide his life. 2 hours later. Izuku, come on fish, you can come to me, we'll just get this spear and stab you. That's all I want, he just want to get out of this cold water. As it hops up again he jabs it, but again he misses. Izuku, growing frustrated now, looks around to see if another one would come, but then slap. One hops out and smacks him on the side of the head before swimming off, which of course Izuku, grrah. As he smacks the spear into the water multiple times, she keeps doing it until he stops as he breathes heavily, realized that he got angry again and turned around to look at Okumer, who was still watching make a fire and cooked the fish that he caught earlier. Padding on the ground beside him silently gets out of the water and puts his spear down and sits next to him, hugging his knees and hid his face, ashamed of the fact he just got angry. Hates this feeling, hates the fact he can get agitated so easily. Hearing the fire crackling, the water in the background and the wind breezing on by as the trees moves with it, seeing the sun almost setting in the distance, the golden light around him takes in the sight for a bit. Okumer now started to do a breathing technique without even speaking. Izuku copies him as it's helping him clear his mind, listens to the natural ambience that he's in, and he felt himself clear his rage and disperse it. As he opens his eyes, Okumer sets a small wooden plank with a fish on it, giving it to him. Izuku, huh? But what about you? Okumer, it's alright, eat it. Izuku looks back down at the fish, takes a bite and eats about a quarter of it before giving it to him. Okumer, Izuku, please eat mster. As he hands it to him, Okumer was amused by the gesture. Okumer, alright, and he takes it and eats the rest of it while the fire was starting to die out. The evening has come. Okumer, you want to know something? Izuku, Okumer, I can never understand how you can be so kindia from what you told me about your family. Even now after a year you still maintain a bit of it. Izuku, well, it's what a hero is supposed to do, right? Okumer, that's not it. Even with your dreams you still try to look for the best in people, even if there is none. Izuku, that's not true. Me mom would sometimes remember to get me food. Okumer, by sometimes you mean very rarely. Izuku stayed quiet. Izuku, too still. Don't. Okumer, you have to understand this, lifting his arm, feeling out the calloused skin. Okumer, is not normal. Izuku, it was just roughhousing. I'm sure my friends. Okumer, Izuku, making him stop for a bit. Izuku, I'm sure it's like that. I am sure. Okumer, friends don't hurt other friends, they don't burn you or freeze you or beat you, friends don't belittle you for something you have no control over, friends don't let others hurt them as well. Referring to his old school. Izuku, be booty, I'm sure there was a good reason. After all, I made a lot of mistakes. And they could be mad about that. And then the fire dies. Okumer, Izuku, your own sibling broke your ribs, she had broken bones, some that haven't even healed properly, all the while your parents did nothing. Izuku, but Okumer, but you still kept going. But even I can see the anger and fear that has built up in you for the years you've been living in there. Izuku, what are you saying? Okumer, Izuku, it's time to let them go. They can't hurt you anymore, they can't haunt you, they have never loved you at all. And with those words hit him right in the heart, as it pains him as well to say it had to see it's been lying to himself, saying that it all had a reason when in truth it didn't have, and if it did it wasn't a good onis. Izuku just sits there as he cries silently, lets those words come back again. Deku, quirkless freak. Bstrd son, worthless, frail, weak, and then the times when they said those mean things, the things that made him leave in the first place. Flashback. Izumi, you're just a deck, what could you even hope to achieve when you don't have a quirk yourself? Katsumi, stop trying to be something you're not, you're just embarrassing yourself. Bakugo, you're just the mud of a shitty product. You don't deserve to be here. Shoka, just stop dreaming about something you can't reach, let it die. Shoto, I'm sure my father sees no potential in you as well. You're just a waste of space. Izumi, maybe the reason why your dad left was because you have no power or worth in the first place. As Izuku clenches his hand, she reels it back and punches her in the face, shocking the others from the unexpected attack, and he just jumps out of the open window and runs then to his parents. Izuku, Dad, please. Two, don't feel so good. Yagi, son, please, I am sure it's nothing, just go in your room. Play or something. Izuku, Mommy, where is my plate? seeing them eating in the kitchen as she was browsing through her phone. Oh, it should be in the fridge. To find it not there and none at Allah's, he would try to live through just small leftovers or even crumbs while Izumi ate like a king. Then the final part, when they were at the park, when Izumi first developed her quirk as she was lifting items off the ground while her friends are cheering for her. This needs a picture, come on. Everyone, since it was her 4th birthday, watches his sister be the center of attention. Okay, on 3 everyone say cheese. Seeing all of them gathered up, even their parents take a photo, and he was left out as if he never really existed to them in the first place. Flashback ends. Izuku now sees what the reason Wash's been keeping Ganger Fearhady was neglected, was abused, was betrayed like a lint someone would find in their pocket, insignificant or never had a purpose. See, as he sees it all those years, he's been doing this to himself. He's been lying to himself as his eyes Okumer can see it. It was the feeling betrayal. Hale did the one thing that could help him in the situation, hugs him, keeping him close as Izuku clenches onto him. Izuku, I'm sorry, Okumer, no, it's never your fault. None of it was, and I'm sorry for saying it straight to you, Izuku, but you had to know. Izuku, I hate them. Okumer, Izuku, I hate Themi, want to kill them. Okumer, Izuku, look at me. As he stares right into his eyes, she wipes the tears off him. Izuku, I want to hurt Themi Danti, I don't like these thoughts. Okumer, just look at me, think of the time you spent here, think of how happy you are with Momiji, that Nijire girl, thinking about her. Had she and him had become great friends, she thinks back to when he had his first birthday with them, the training, how far he's come, how strong he became, and he's fishing with a man who saved his life, a man who treats him like Izuku. Can I call you no, Okumer? It's alright, Izuku, Dad, and now of course Okumer flinches a bit. Okumer, sorry, it wasn't expected. Autumn's fitting somehow. Izuku, you've taken care of meft mebeth melov me like, I'm your son, you take me out to places I've never been before, we train. We walk and see the sights and fish, looking back at the spears. Okumer, if you would like for me to be your father, it would be my greatest honor to have you as my son. Izuku, Dad, as he comes back in for another, Hugh holds him close. Okumer, but you need to know that we have to control these thoughts. Izuku, I know, Okumer, until the day comes. I will help you along the way, you won't be alone, we'll be here for you always. Izuku, okay. Seeing the night sky filled with stars, the moonlight casting over them as the both of them were dressed. Okumer was carrying the stuff they brought, but in his other arm was a sleeping Izuku, exhausted from the training. Once they make it back, Momiji, oh there you are, you took a lot longer than I expected. Seeing Izuku having tear stains on him, Momiji, oh no. What happened? Worried Okumer, we had a little talk, has calmed down, but I can entrust you to watch him. Momiji, of course. As he gets Izuku off him, she then carries him off into the room while Okumer puts the stuff away, and he looks back at the room. Okumer, his Hisashiyu would be proud to call him your son, facing his fears. Nijire, who? That's so cool. So there's fishies up in the mountains. Izuku, shoo. It's a secret place, I don't want anyone to know. Nijire, whisper, wow, that's very cool. You need to take me there someday. Izuku, aha. I will. Nijire, pinky promise. Izuku, pinky what? Nijire, a pinky promise. You wrap your pinky around mine and we make a promise. So you promise to take me there, alright. As she holds her pinky out, Izuku then shyly does it and she clenches it and shakes it. Nijire, good. As they sat at the swings in the playground, Momiji and Nijire's mother were talking with each other. Of course they see how adorable their friendship is, especially Momiji is happy since Izuku never really talked with the other kids around the town, but of course that is about to come to an end as in the distance a school bus stops and Izuku looks at it. And it reads, Coruscant Elementary School, and he freezed up. Nijire, and she looks at the school buses. There were students coming out and they started heading towards the playground there. Apparently the students are coming back from a field trip and decided that the students needed to get out for just a moment. It brings back horrible memories for Izuku. Izuku, I'm not the same Deku they called me, I'm stronger. No, he can do this. As he controls his breathing trying to calm himself. Nijire, Zuku. What's wrong? As the kids now went all over the playground, some even asking them if they could use the swings, but one thing's certain, hey. Isn't that Deku? What's he doing here? Didn't he run away from home? He looks different. Whatever, he's still the same powerless Deku. Who's that girl? Maybe she would like to hang with us. Leave that Deku be, and then, you, and he shivers now looking at him. Izuku, Emeko, looking at the main person who bullied him in the school, the one that everyone keeps saying that he's going to be a great hero. Mako, "Hey, why are you hanging with this freak, talking to Nijire? Who are you?" As she was just confused from this. Meanwhile both Momiji and Nijire's mother are looking at some flowers. Momiji sees what's happening, but Okuma specifically said that he needs to face his fears should he come across it, and that day has come. Izuku, leave her alone. Mako, how like you think that you're on my level? School's been a lot better without you. Freak workless. Nijire, hey, I am quirkless too, and you leave him alone. Mako, oh. So there's two worthless freaks with each other fitting, and then out of nowhere Mako makes a crystal shard and hits Izuku off the swing. Nijire, Izuku, but she was being held by the other students as Mako now slowly goes towards him. Izuku then stands up and he felt a pain in his chest. Mako, so boring, you just take it like a beach. You really think you could run away from Manoi? Will always be there. You are worthless as ever. You dash. But he couldn't finish his sentence as Izuku tackles him and then started to punch him as Mako made crystals to protect his facet was punched off from his strength alone. Izuku, let go of her, as he screams out, but the students are cheering for Mako to whine as he just kicks him off. Mako, so you finally fought back. Now I can try, as he sweeps him off his feet. Izuku now felt Mako now ready to pummel him again, but old habits die hard. As he just covers his face protecting himself as he continues to hurt him. Nijire, hey, stop, as she breaks free and she runs towards him. Mako, seeing his arm being held back. Nijire, stop, but then he just punches her in the face. Izuku now sees this and he now had to be what he is meant to be, a guardian of those in need. Slowly getting up as he gets into a fighting stance now. Mako, want to protect your weak friend. But no words were said as in a focused state. Izuku now dodges his attacks as he tried to punch him. He catches his fist and then tried to hit him with the other hand, but he also catches it. Those who read Outcast will know this. As he tried to get it out of his grip, Izuku now in anger headbutts him, causing him to fall down, and he grabs his leg to swing him overhead and slam him right into the ground. As the students look at him in shock and fear, Mako was breathing faintly as he looks at his hand. Seeing the BLD on them, turns to the other students that took a step back when they see him. Seeing Nijire looking up at him, and he went to help her up. She was worried as she being held, and he looks back at Mako. Izuku, if you hurt her again, I will make sure you will go through what I went through tenfold. Remember that. Nijire. Momiji, Izuku, seeing them coming up and the students now step aside. Seeing the state of the two, oh my god, your eye, seeing her eye swollen. Nijire, Izuku protected me. Izuku, too didn't mean, as he was quiet, freak, as the students were calling him out for his actions. The teacher finally came, and then a few things have occurred. 1 hour later Izuku sits in a small medical room. The town county police isn't as harsh with him. They know he's Okuma's student and know that what he did was out of defense. Hearing the door open, Okuma, thank you. Seeing the police officer opening the door, Izuku, sniff, and he just walks up to him in shame, but he was picked up and held. Okuma, thank you. Well, he didn't bite a finger off, so it was in complete defense. I can say it's going to catch the media's eye, so be prepared for that. Okuma, right. And they exit. Seeing Momiji waiting for them. Momiji, are you okay? Asking him, but he remains quiet. Okuma, he's tired, come let's go home. Seeing the bandages on him, and they manage to come back to the temple. Izuku, Isis. Nijire, okay. Momiji, she's fine, she just needed an ice pack, it's going to be okay. Izuku, I did it again. Okuma, Noyu stood up against your fear, against your past. Nothing we could have done to prevent. I am proud of you. Izuku, thank you. Know that I think about it, it feels like I can do anything now. Smiling at him. Okuma, good, then we teach you the next thing you need to learn. Izuku, yes, as he was now excited for this. Meanwhile, how could you let him do that? Nijire, but he was trying to save me, I knew that boy was nothing but trouble. Nijire, you don't know that. Nijire, Hado, I forbid you from going near that boy. In fact, when I make these trips you are staying with your dad. Nijire, no. I don't want to leave him alone. Look at T-sis, this what a friend would do. Nijire, he didn't hit me. It was that other boy. They said he was trying to get him off you, that he went into a full rage again. Nijire, it's not like that. Nijire, you will do as I say. As she yelled at her again, she flinches and steps back. I will not condone this behavior, I am doing this for your own good, I don't want to have you harmed, please. Brushing her hair back, Nijire just pushes her hand off her as she looks at the ground crying. Sigh, it's for your own good, know this. And they continue their drive back to Mustafa. She was crying. Nijire, Zuku, she won't be able to see him again until it's been later in his life. The next day Izuku, Nijire. As he comes back down from the trail, usually around this time Nijire would come from the city to visit Izuku. Nijire, looking around as he keeps looking around, even looking where they would normally meet up, which is the little bridge with the stream they first fell into. Izuku, nay, he muttered out, did what he did made her afraid of him. Did he drive her away? Izuku, no, I didn't do that. She said she doesn't care for what I am, as he sits there to wait for her, listening to the water flowing, seeing Momiji come up to him. Momiji, hey, what's going on? Izuku, nay, isn't here yet. Momiji, well, she's running late, want to come to the farmer's market with me? Izuku, nah. I'll wait here, as she then ruffles his hair before leaving. Keeps on waiting their first hour. Izuku has been waiting for a while and still no sign of her second hour, as he just starts throwing pebbles off the bridge, even letting some roll off as he watches it fall and go into the stream. Fourth hour, the sun setting in the distance caused Izuku to hug his knees, and he waits until he hears some footsteps. Looking up quickly, Izuku, nay, but he see Okuma there, as he has been waiting there for 4 hours. As he just silently stands there, Izuku looks out to the area she normally comes into and he just stares. Izuku, she's not coming. Is she? Asking him sadly. It's true, Okuma, I don't know. Izuku, you think it's because of me? Okuma, I don't know about that, son, as he sits next to him, wrapping his arm around him and pulls him close. Izuku, why does everything good have to end? Okuma, there are things in life we don't control over, but you shared a lot of good memories with her. Izuku, does it also mean she'll lead to me? Okuma, about what? Izuku, saying she doesn't care if I'm quirkless or a freak. Okuma, I don't have an answer for that, son. Beauty, have a feeling that you'll meet again, who knows? Izuku, I think he don't want to be a hero anymore. Okuma, Izuku, too want to be like Yushigoki. Or people call you the guardian demon. Okuma, if you go through with this, no, there's no mercy. This training is hard and it will be merciless. Izuku, I went through worse, I can do it. Seeing his determined face, Okuma, alright, for now we should get some rest. Come on. Getting up as they go back to the temple, and soon will become the very thing that will protect those who need it and destroy anything that threatens the innocent. This he vows, becoming the demon as the years go on. As the training have continued endlessly, Izuku had pushed through it all, pushing through the pain. The Struglito gained the power and strength, of course. He was never able to see Nijire throughout the years that have passed. And then he still waits where they used to go, would be there for hours and lose track of time, but in this training he had gone through a total change. It has been 9 years since his training initially started. 19 years old, mastered a wide range of weapons he carries with Himas. He is now on the verge of passing the final test. Stands there in the temple grounds holding the Masakara, going against Momiji, who also hadn't missed a day in training. As he fights her, the two went on for hours with this while Okuma watched, and he couldn't be prouder of the type of man he's becoming. As he now grabs her axe, he then kicks it out of her hand and then sweep under her leg and holds the axe to her neck. Okuma, well done. As he holds his hand out for her, she grabs it and was pulled up. Momiji, you got me, have to train harder. Okuma, good job. Izuku on to the final test. As he was handed a Kanobo, Okuma now gets. He says he claps his hands and then gets into a fighting position. Okuma, here you go, as he is fighting him. The Shigoki. Izuku, right, and he holds. He says the two face off each other. He now charges in and jumps high in the air to slam his Kanobo down, but Okuma rolls out of the way and then tries to bop him with the pommel, and Izuku dodges it as he swings it overhead again. Okuma blocked it. Of course his strength has increased immensely since then, as it also makes him stagger back, and then he elbows him in the gut, but Okuma grabs him and then pops his back. Izuku, as he then throws him aside and he reposition himself. Izuku, hate it when he does that, calling it demon's grasp. Usually he would use his water quirk, which would flow around someone's airway, causing them to be incapacitated, but he gets back up, avoiding another slam which could have destroyed him, but he then sidesteps again to headbutt him and then smack him overhead. Okuma, good, but then he breaks his guard and then swings his Kanobo upward, launching him back. As he gets back up, keeps going holding the Kanobo in his one hand and then swings it, but stops midway to turn and jab the pommel into his mask. Now it was his time with his strength. He does his own move, he calls it Bull's Charge. As he charges, he then ends up plowing through him, causing him to go over him, and he then slams the Kanobo right beside his Hidas. He breathes heavily. Okuma, ahem. Izuku, and he felt a water droplet as he looks up to see a huge amount of water atop of him. Izuku, and it just fall on top of him. As it finally gone away, he coughs, seeing Okuma holding his hand out, and he grabs it. Okuma, Izuku, Momiji, Okuma, ha 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 ha. As he laughed out, Izuku was confused. Then he looks at Momiji, who shrugged as Okuma pats him HRD on the back and keeps his arm around him. Izuku, ah ha he ha, nervously laughing. Okuma, My boy, you have went far and beyond my expectations. No one, not even your father, could have been able to charge through me like I. Way nothing. This calls for a celebration and we're going to the city and celebrate it. Izuku, what? Momiji, isn't he still missing? Okumur, they don't care, but we don't. For once in my lifetime you can do this. Come, as they are guided down into a smaller chamber in the temple, passing the fountains and back through the tunnels leading into the side of the cliff, seeing the moss covering the walkway. Izuku, has anyone cleaned this area? Okumur, not since I was a student here, not even your father. As he does a certain pattern, the door they stop at opens. Upus, more dirt and moss that built up in the cracks spill out. He steps aside. Okumur, go ahead, and Izuku looks at him for a bit and back to Momiji, who nods, and he slowly walks in as he sees a hole in the ceiling lighting up the room, then looks Izuku, whoa, as what lays in front of him. Seeing the metal braces having a design of a dragon, the outfit is a hakama that comes along with armor plating, as the metal cuirass has a blue tint and the shin braces also have the same design, complementing the color contrast very well. Okumur, this is the armor of the Guardian. Only those who have gone through the training can earn it. This armor is the very principle of being a protector of the Innocento, save those who need it. And now that's been done, what do you plan to station yourself? As Izuku then looks into the armor and seeing his reflection, Izuku, I believe it's time to forge my own path. Buddy also want to see. Momiji, you think she'll remember you? Okumur, if she remembers him after a year, I'm sure adding 9 more wouldn't change anything. Izuku, I hope so. Their way plan on getting stronger and I will come back for a rematch. Dad. Okumur, well, I look forward to it. Until then you should get ready if you're wanting to leave now. Izuku, I will visit of course, as he then goes up to Momiji. Momiji, just don't get into trouble. Izuku, I have a feeling I'm gonna break that promise. Then she just hugs him. Momiji, just try knowing him. And now he grabs his Masakari Kanabo with his 2 additional weapons. One of them was a chain with a sharp end, another being 2 chakrams he keeps close in case he loses his other 2. Now setting out, now jumps and runs fast heading towards the town, ready to start another chapter to his life. But to others it may be seeing a ghost of the past. Izumi, well, it's been 10 years. Looking at the calendar since her brother has run away, things about what she did had been kept secret and only painted him in a bad light. Of course she didn't want Tobit if she told them what she did. Her chances on being a hero would be ripped away from her, but she has been trying to follow that incident that a boy was attacked by someone who matched her brother's appearance, but no other info was released. Shoka, so you think he would show up? Bakugo, please, if he wanted to still try and be a hero he would have came back 2 years ago. It's our turn now, and once we find him we're gonna make him pay for leaving her. Izumi, guys, enough. Katsumi, what do you think? Izumi, I just hope he's alive and well, that's all I ask. Even if he doesn't want anything to do with us, I just hope he's okay. As they head out from school, Shoto, you think the mall is open by now? Katsumi, should be mean by the time we get there it should be. Shoka, but don't we have to prepare for the entrance exams? Izumi, don't you have recommendations? Shoka, my dad only put Shoto in for IT, I have to go in through the test and the other exams. Shoto, again I'm sorry. Bakugo, shut up, even then we all know I'm gonna be dash. Katsumi, number 1 hero blah blah blah. Is there anything else you want to add to your ego? Bakugo, fu beach, and again they get into another argument. Izumi, oh boy, and they soon head towards the mall hoping it's going to be a regular day. Izuku now overlooks the city, his old home, looking at it from atop of a building, feeling the wind breeze off him. Izuku, it feels almost forbidden to be here, everything is just crampedy. Hope I made the right choice. Looking back at the forest he came from, bridging away from both paths. Izuku, no, me only choice is to move forward and I must face my demons and I will succeed. And he then jumps from building to building, looking over to see if there is someone in need of help he needs to get caught, and by doing then hears as he draws his attention to a storm drain that was away from the main area. Now jumping over he was met with a very dangerous situation. Come on, just give me your body, you won't feel a thing. As this green slime-like monster was trying to suffocate a girl who seemed to be his sister's age. Izuku, as the slime creature now turns to him, the big red eye looking straight at him. SV, oh, and who are you? A hero. Izuku, none of those, let her go. SV, he hear what? As a matter of fact, you have quite the attire, the muscle sees you are the perfect host for me. As he then stops what he's doing and tosses the girl aside. Watch out, screaming out for him, the slime then lunges at him. Izuku, heh. And in one quick swoop it turned into multiple pieces as she looks up to see him holding a very menacing looking can. Both handle had engravings. The head was made of a silver material and the pommel had a ring so he could hang on to it for an extra increase in distance. His Masakari axe was a double-sided head that also had the engraving of a dragon on it. Handle was metal and leather wrapped around it. Pommel being a sharp end. It seems it's meant to kill us. The slime scatters everywhere. He looks at it and sees it sizzle leaving a small amount and it tried to scurry away thinking fast. He then grabs a jar and catches it. Izuku, phew, thank God for that. Looking at the girl who was in awe of him. Izuku, are you alright? Thankfully I made it in time. You hurt anywhere? Kneeling down to her level she started to blush seeing him come close. Izuku, nothing to note. I did see him trying to force his way down your throat. You breathing okay? And she nods. Izuku, well you better get home. Oh Ochako Uraraka, she said to him and he smiles. Izuku, well Ochako you better head home. Ochako, wait. What's your name? Asking him as he stops and turns around. Izuku, I'm just the guardian. Ochako, guardian. And now he makes his departure hopping away. Fear not, hearing a scream behind her. Ochako, huh? For I am he dash, stopping midway. Ochako, all might. Yes it is I am. Lady, have you seen a villain pass by here? Asking her. Ochako, oh whom a hero already got him. A hero? Who? Ochako, I don't know. He might be a new one. He calls himself the Guardian. Guardiani believe there is no hero with a name like that. You may have come across a vigilante. Can you describe him for me? Ochako, well he has this huge kanobo. An axe, very cool armor, and he does this huge swing and beat the villain like bam. And he wins easily. Must have a very cool quirk. Also she's kinda cute. Internally was face palming. Ochako, oh right I'm supposed to describe him. He did have strong features and green hair in the style of a fade. You know, short hair and it's long around the top and back I think. I don't know much about fashion. And green eyes, and that made him stop. Wait, you said green hair and eyes? Ochako, yes. By any chance did he have freckles? Now she was surprised. Ochako, yes. It was like a diamond formation which I thought was odd with his features almost plain but they really give a unique look. Show, do you know that? Asking him now. So. It's him. Two have to find him. Ochako, you Mr. Might. Saraido, you know which way he went? Ochako, that way, pointing to her right. Thank you again but do be careful, you may not know when you stumble upon a villain. Farewell, screaming out as he jumps high again. Ochako, how weird. You've come back. Sony will bring you home. And apologize for everything we've done. I will make it up to you. Another dilemma. Izuku, well then seems you have quite the reputation. MMPH. Trying to scream out from the jar as he sits down on the edge of the rooftop. He just looks overhead. Izuku, I barely recognize this place. So much new place, so many new things, a lot different when I lived back at the temple, you know. Izuku, well I'm sure you understand. Ever seen a movie? MMO. Izuku, neither have. Two have no clue what I'm supposed to do with you. How about you both surrender? Recognizing that voice, Izuku stands up and picks up the jar and sees. Izuku, all might. Yes it is I, it's really you. Seeing his lost son in front of him after 10 years, she tried to hold back the urge to pull him in for a Hugh looks at how much he's grown, wanted to cry seeing him. Izuku, what do you want? My boy, you have been acting out a crime of doing a hero's job without a license. Izuku, a piece of paper decides if I'm hero material. Yes. Izuku, well that's very inconvenient. In all honesty I wasn't expecting to be running into the symbol of peace himself. Now if you excuse me I need to get this little thing out. Now about to hop away out of instinct. Wait, as he was tackled. Izuku was lifted up into the air as he then realized he dropped the jar, was more focused on what the hell this idiot is doing. Izuku, what is your problem? You have been caught in an ACT of vigilantism. Izuku, but I don't have AF quirk. Language. Izuku, what? As he was trying to punch him off but he was caught in tight grip. You need to answer some questions I have for you. As they land on top of another building, Izuku gets out of his grip, now holding up his axe. You think that would be enough? Please not do this. Izuku, How did it get to this point? Already done with the day. Am then flicks his finger to create a gust of wind to try and apprehend him, but Izuku dodges and switches his axe out with the Kanaboa's. Am was very quick. He tried to grab Izuku, but he pulls back to dodge it, and then he feints an attack, making him think that he's swinging the Kanobo overhead, but he just jabs the pommel into his face. Am, gah. Izuku, could you at least let me explain myself? As he still keeps his stance up. Am, young man, you know it is against the law to attack a hero. Izuku, God, why are you so robotic and by the book? Even then I still can't believe I looked up to you. Am, I should feel impressed. But I know who you are. Izuku Midoriya. Izuku, congrats, you know, May truly thought my missing persons case would be forgotten quickly due to me being quirkless. Am, I want to know why you ran away from home. Izuku, it's none of your business. Am, I have every right to know. Where have you been for the past 10 years? Izuku, training, and I am known as the Guardian now. Am, you could use this skill and put it to good use. You can be and in turn we don't have to do this. You can just give us your story and I'll make sure you have your freedom. Izuku, freedom. I've been living in freedom. I never had such a nice quiet life before. Thrice I just came back to this place and it's not what it used to be. There's more crimes, more villains trying to stand up and spread panic. There is a time that you have to take matters into your own hands, not train or be educated why it's bad and let it fester like this villain I caught until your idiot moved to tackle me. Just let him go. Am, he's free. Izuku, why need to find him? Am, you're not going anywhere. Then he hears a commotion going on in the distance, seeing the people gathering near the town square. Izuku, I am going, as he then makes his way towards the designated area. Am, wait, but before he could do anything Izuku slams his Kanobo into his gut, making his keel over in pain. Izuku, sorry, but I have to clean up my mistake and follow me. As he then makes his way towards the commotion. Am, this strength, where on earth did he get it? As he turned back into his frail form, holding on to the ledge, trying to control his breathing. Izuku, come on you blob, where are you? As he follow the sound of the sirens in the background, now he sees it. Please evacuate the area. Stay behind the line, people. As he sees 3 pro heroes blocking the area, he jumps on down. Izuku, what's going on? Hey samurai wannabe, you need to stay behind the line. Izuku, what is going on? There's a villain over there and it has taken 5 hostages. Izuku, why aren't you doing anything? We need to wait for a hero with the proper quirk to settle the situation. As he was hearing this, he felt his anger building up. Izuku, proper? You mean you're just standing around here willing to let 4 people die for your idiotic decisions? Don't insult a pro hero, boy. You stay here and you're not allowed to act on your own. Izuku, that's up for me to decide. As he then shoves him out of the way, another hero tried to catch him with wood. Wait, but Izuku charges through it and he sprints towards the commotion. Izuku, if I cannot stop this, then I am not living up to the title Dad gave. May have to protect Theme must. But then he stops as he sees in front of him the slime villain, but he was much larger than usual. But that wasn't the only thing that made him stop in his tracks. She sees he doesn't just have any 4 victims, they were them, seeing Izumi, Shoka, Katsumi, Bakugo and Shoto all ensnared in the slime, being suffocated. Flashback. Izumi, you're just a worthless Deku who has nothing to offer. Katsumi, remember you're doing this to yourself. Shoka, we can stop anytime. Bakugo, we'll keep going until your shitty dream is nothing but ashes. Shoto, otherwise you'll burn. Flashback. Izuku, SHT, as he says this, the slime villain then looks over to him. SVU. As this caught the 5's attention, they then were in complete shock, seeing their long-lost former victim. Izumi, brother, seeing how different he is, looking completely different than the boy they used to know. SV, thanks to the symbol of peace I've been able to attain these new victims. They have such powerful quirks. I'm going to consider them my host. Hell, I might be able to take down the symbol of peace with them alone. Hahaha. Seeing him trying to increase the progress, Izuku now snaps out of it and he charges ahead to go attack him. SV, how pitiful, now using Izumi's quirk to lift him up and slam him into the wall. Please stop, Izumi. Izuku, DMN it. As he then tries again. Bakugo and Katsumi's quirk were used as well. It burns. Why does it hurt so much? Izuku, enough. As he goes in Aga and he was hit with clusters of ice and then both fire and ice again. Please Semami, toes feel like they're going to fall off. My skin feels like icy, I can't feel it. Izuku then feels like he's been thrown back into his past youth, slaps himself remembering them. Flashback. Okumar, remember you may face your own demons but I prepared you with what you need, everything else you have to face head on, but know that you are never alone through it all, Momiji, should you need it. We'll come for you no matter what." Flashback Izuku, Momidori will make you proud as this world's guardian. Now focused as he holds both the Kanobo and the Masakari in each hand, now running towards them. SV then uses the Bakugo's quirk to try and hit him, but Izuku then dives to dodge both attacks as he uses Shoka's and Shoto's quirk to try and freeze him if not burn him. And he mounts the Kanobo into the ground and then hurls over the ice and then spins to block the flame from hitting his face, letting the axe and his armor tank the attack. As he keeps going, he was going to use Izumi's quirk until he quickly throws his chain to hit his eye. Once that happened, he recoiled, letting go of the Todorokis, and he throws the Masakari to cut the slime, letting the other two go as Izumi was the last one left, then holds on to his Kanobo and the eye was exposed. SV, wait, you can't do this, you're a hero, you can't kill, right? As Izuku then smirks and he jumps up. Izuku, I'm no hero. As he then slams the Kanobo, blood splattered all over the place, confirming his death. As the eye was destroyed, the slime itself became liquid and evaporated shortly after. Breathing heavily, gets his axe and puts it on his back again, and he looks around him. Stop, fiend. Vigilante. You are under arrest. Izumi, brother. Izuku ignores her. Izumi, where were you? Again he stays quiet. Get on your hands and knees now. Izumi, are you even the Izuku I knew? Crying out as he puts his Kanobo over his shoulder. Just waits for them come. Izuku, who knew this generation of heroes would be so pathetic, how sad, but before they could do anything else, wait, seeing All Might coming down from the sky. Do not harm this boy, is my apprentice. Hearing this caused the crowd to go crazy. Some aren't convinced at this, knowing he just killed a personas. He went on explaining on what had occurred, embellishing it to where it could make him be seen in a positive light. Izuku, why the hell? My boy. You need to come with me, we can discuss on what we're going to do with you. Izuku, fine. As he was going to leave Izumi, Izuku. Dawn, but he turns to look at her and she froze, seeing him trying to keep his hate in, but it was enough to make her stop in her tracks. Izuku, let's just get this over with. Alright then. As they depart from the area. Katsumi, was that really Bakugo? How the hell does that shitty nerdy Shoka? He came to the rescue. Shoto, but it's been 10 long years and he just shows up out of nowhere. Izumi, we have to follow them. The deal breaker. Izuku, sigh, come on, I've been waiting here for hours, the least you could is to tell me what's happening. Seeing the cops standing near the only exit, of course they tried to take his weapons away. Fat chance they are a part of him and he will not hand them over easily. If it wasn't for All Might's, pretty sure they would have opened fire on him. Izuku, I haven't been here for 10 years, could you at least tell me what's new? At least another store, more buildings, a mall, and then downtown itself had a huge renovation. Izuku, good, you a still number one. For the most part some other hero schools also are on rival with them as well. If you hadn't been keeping up with the news, where did you run off to? Izuku, have to wait for your detective to come in, and right on cue the door opens to a man wearing a trench coat, and he seemed a little too plain compared to him. Hello, I'm Detective Naomasa. I have some questions to be asking you, and do note that everything that happens is to fit for the punishment. Now Thenda, you understand the situation you are in? Keeping his stern look. Izuku, yes. Stoic about it as he waits for whatever ridiculous question they have for him. Naomasa, are you Izuku Midoriya, the boy who has been reported missing 10 years ago, who ran away from home? Izuku, what do you think? Naomasa, it's a yes or no question. Izuku, sure. Naomasa, okay, next, where did you require that armor, weapons, and training? Izuku, why does it matter? Naomasa, I want to know why you have been granted a status of a guardian, as you foretoldeth. Only other guardian that had existed back then was a hero that went by the name of Shigoki. Izuku, they were bestowed upon me. Naomasa, by who? Izuku, someone. Naomasa, answer the question. Izuku, my father. And Naomasa was very confused on she isn't lying. But wait, Naomasa, your father, are you talking about Toshinori Yagi? Izuku shakes his head. He's not my father, nor will he ever be. He's just some stranger my dad was friends with that took advantage of a widowed mother who was once his wife. He loves this, confusing him. Naomasa, are you saying Hisashi Midori is here? Izuku, Heno. Naomasa, okay, you're clearly trying to avoid the question. Who trained you these skills? As if I recall, the temple in the mountains has been sealed off for many years. No one has ever been living there since. Izuku, well, I have ways, Naomasa. Sai listen kid you're barely what 17, Izuku, 19, Naomasa. You've so far committed multiple crimes at once. First obviously is an act of vigilantism, second being murder interfering with a pro-hero's situation, Izuku, wait murder is second. Naomasa, I'm not finished trespassing illegal usage of quirk, Izuku, I'm quirkless, Naomasa, you mean to tell us that your strength isn't the result of a quirk? Izuku, like I said training, raising an eyebrow at him continues on Naomasa, of course these charges and along the fact that you also assaulted the symbol of peace, Izuku, snitch, Naomasa, but surprisingly no charges are being brought on you. Now it's Izuku's turn to be confused by this. Now Izuku, why not? Naomasa, come on in, and then the door opens to a small animal wearing a suit. Ah, there he is, seeing him so small, and he hops on top of the table. Izuku, you, hello there Midori, I am Principal Nezui, come from you. A hero school and I see you got yourself into a tricky situation, Izuku. Yeah, you think I expect a parade for my grand rescue, sarcastic about it Nizu. Yes, and I do wonder how you managed to get the guardian armor from Mr. Okumar. As expected he knew this would have come to this. Naomasa, you're pretty quiet. Izuku then thinks of something but he remained quiet. Nizu, so I'm going to take that silence that for the past 10 years you've been training under Mr. Okumar. Who else is involved? Izuku, just him. Naomasa, he's lying. Izuku, I won't give any info. That's it. I refuse. Nizu, why not? We all know who Okumar is. We could just track him down and arrest him for keeping you under his care for the past 10 years, which is a pretty bad look. Izuku, what do you want? Nizu, I know they seem rather important to you, but if you are willing to come into terms in what I have to offer, then I will make sure they won't be affected by your actions. Izuku, well, hurry up already. Nizu, my school has been on a tight budget since the entrance exams are coming up, and well, I need what you would call an assistant to do various tasks that would require some protection. You call yourself a guardian, well I want you for the first year to simply guard them, attend the classes or patrol the area. You also must go along with them on trips as well. Izuku, and if I refuse? Nizu, I'm sure Okumar and whoever partaken in your disappearance will have to be charged for kidnapping and various crimes they committed. You have your choices. Now just sitting there as he thinks about his choice, she has to admit it has been his life dream to be in you. Izuku, alright then, but on two conditions. Nizu, if they are compliable. Izuku, should there be any villain attack or any incident that would potentially threaten the students and or innocent persona, have a right to kill them should it come to it. Naomasa, that's ridiculous, there's no way that dash. Nizu, alright, what else? Izuku, I am allowed to continue my training and a place to live. Nizu, deal, glad we came to a mutual agreement. Holding out his hand and he grabs it. Naomasa, but we still haven't discussed on why he ran away. Nizu, that's not important right now unless you have anything to add to the info we already have, and he thinks about it. Izuku, well if you insist. 1 hour later. Naomasa, kid, you do realize on what this means, right? Nizu, to think that Yagi is capable of that such bad parenting. Izuku, you know her father. Nizu, Yesha's actually part of the staff. Izuku, you got to be kidding. Nizu, I know, but if you're concerned he cannot interfere with your line of work should you have something that would be deemed a priority. Izuku, alright, so what, you're my boss? Nizu, boss is such a blunt word, he would rather treat you like my own student. Izuku, so boss? Nizu, sigh. Naomasa, I think that's enough now. After all of that commotion the settlement has been well settled, and Izuku has another problem added to his already up life. Well, the first 9 years are but the training has been awesome, but right now he would rather be anywhere but here, because once word had been leaked that he's been found. Guess who's in front of him right now? Yagi. Izuki's it really you? Inko, my baby, as she rushes in to hug him. Izumi doing the same. Izumi, brother, as they hugged him felt something snap in him. Inko, never again will we let you go, never going to neglect you again. As he hears their commotion now he started to growl slowly. Inko, Izumi, brother, as he felt it about to release stops himself. Izuku, let go before I lose my temper. Inko, son, what are? Izuku, I am not your son, calmly telling them to get off him. Izumi, Izuku, both of you. Nizu, please let go of my student. Inko, Izuku, what's wrong? What do you mean dash? But before they could say anything she was propped up and he looks at her in rage. Izuku, I said I am not your son. As she was pushed into the wall. Izumi then tried to move him but he shoves her off him. Inko, Izuku, as she was trying to breathe. Naomasa, stop now. Now keeping himself calm, realizing the thin line he's treading, lets go, causing her to cough, which of course freaked them out. Never had they expect such a sudden change in mood. Nizu, how peculiar, writing it down. Naomasa then makes him face him. Naomasa, this is your only warning, behave, as he lets go and he escorted them out. Nizu now stops writing and puts it away in the bag. Nizu, now that's over with, we're ahead of schedule by 5 minutes, let's pick up a coffee on the way back. Now signaling to have the door open, Nizu hops on his shoulder and they head on out. Now Nizu, I will say that I advise you to not do anything like that again. Izuku, I'm sorry. Nizu, just control yourself. I'm sure you've been taught lessons on how to control it. Do your best. Izuku, thanks.